Center at Bradley University. This is BUTV News.
TV News, I'm Anthony Landau.
And I'm Imani Shamsuddin. Let's take a look at the news.
As a shock to most faculty and students, Bradley called a snow day on Monday due to inclement weather.
That's right, Anthony. Faculty and students got one more day of relaxation before returning to classes. Here's Sam Kohlmeyer with the story.
Hey everybody, this is Sam Kohlmeyer with BUTV News, and as I'm recording this, there's still a little bit of snow falling. It is Monday afternoon. For the first time in so many years, in a very long time, Bradley University got an official snow day. Not just some classes canceled, not just some parts of campus shut down. The entire university got a day break right before finals week. Very early Monday morning, the president, provost, and other select members of the Bradley University faculty decided to call off school not only for students, but for a number of other faculty members as well. In fact, it was deemed an official university closing, not just classes canceled, meaning faculty members like those who worked in dining services and those who worked in operations, and of course, the members of the grounds crew. They were all expected to be at work if they could, if the inclement weather was not too bad where they were, but everybody else, they got the day off. I walked around outside a little bit later in the day, and honestly, there weren't that many people outside. You saw your usual snow people, but there wasn't anything too ridiculous that I saw while perusing around campus. I wanted to learn more about the snow day. How did the university actually make this call, and how often does this happen? Here's Renee Charles, the university's PR spokesperson.
It's not a very common occurrence, especially because this is a residential campus. So students basically live within a block, maybe two, depending on if you live off campus, within a couple blocks of where they go to class. The bigger issue is, can faculty and staff get here to A, teach your class, and B, provide those essential services that we need for the students who are living here on campus.
Renee told me that calling off school is a big decision and that the reasons behind each school cancellation can be a little bit different. But this time she said there were a couple of big ones. Number one, it was the day after Thanksgiving break, so students could still be coming back and driving in the thick of it, which obviously the university did not want. And number two, tons of other schools in the area were closing as well, so Bradley sort of followed suit there because faculty members have kids, and if kids are off school, there's nobody to watch them at home. I have a feeling this winter could be a big one, and maybe we'll see more snow days like this, but for now, we'll have to be happy with just one. For BUTV News, I'm Sam Kohlmeyer.
The 4th annual Charlie Steiner Symposium took place on November 15th, where professionals came to Bradley to talk about their sport-related fields. Here's Nelson Gutierrez with the story.
Weekends is where I have fun, so.
Weekends is where you have fun.
Yeah.
It's safe to say that Charlie Myers, a sophomore marketing major, is one busy brave.
I'm the pole mark of the Iota Kappa chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I'm the president for the Black Student Alliance. I'm a facilitator for Circle of Brotherhood, and I am the ODI leader for the Office of Diversity and Inclusion.
Myers says his only day to rest during the week is Friday, but he wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm a person, I just like to work. I don't like sitting around or doing anything, and I'm very passionate about everything that I'm a part of.
This marketing sophomore says the key to balancing such a hectic work schedule is organization.
You really just have to schedule everything out. I was a person who really didn't plan before, but now I realize because I'm in so many things and I have so many obligations, I just have to make sure that I plan everything ahead and continue to remind myself, okay, I got to do this at 5 o'clock or do this at 6 o'clock.
Myers is running the organization Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated all by himself, which he says has its perks and downsides.
I really don't have to argue or debate with different people because, I get to make the final decision about everything myself pretty much. So it's good, but also I wish I had that help sometimes when putting together events, which I do have help from my alumni chapter, but just involve the people on being on campus. That's what I wish I had. So it's pluses and minuses to it.
But he says his fellow MPHC members always lend a helping hand.
Whenever I need something, they pretty much want to help me, and everybody knows my situation and what I'm doing on campus right now. So having those relationships are extremely important.
Being a leader in multiple organizations can be stressful, but according to Myers, if you keep a level head and stay true to yourself, it's all worth it.
Really just planning everything out and using your resources and, just having fun with everything you do. make sure you incorporate a little bit of yourself and a little bit of in everything you do because you want to enjoy what you do. So.
For BUTV News, I'm Taylor Musgrove.
We apologize for the technical difficulty. There was a video mix-up. But moving on, many people are mistaken about the culture of Native Americans. Oftentimes, people have questions but are too afraid to ask because they fear their questions may be offensive. Tonight at 7 in Westlake Hall, Anton Truer presents everything you wanted to know about Indians, but were afraid to ask. Our own Elise Holskoff is there now. Elise?
Thanks. I'm here live at Westlake Hall with Anthony Trower. Why are you here to talk to students about, like, what's the event that you're talking to them about?
Yeah, I was invited to campus for an event called Everything You Wanted to Know About Indians But Were Afraid to Ask. I'm a professor at Bemidji State University in northern Minnesota and wrote a book on this topic and have given a number of talks around the country. So looking forward to the conversation with everyone at Bradley.
So why is it important that students listen to the type of dialogue that you're presenting in this?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's really important for everybody to seek out multiple perspectives. I think we should all take all those people we want to give a good talking to and give them a good listening to. And the world that we live in is a diverse place. For most of the lives, for most of the students here in this country, there will be no racial majority. All of us will be minorities. We're going to have to figure out how to talk to one another, understand one another, get along better, solve problems together. And it's really vital that we seek out those perspectives and experiences. And I think especially with the indigenous experience here, 100% of the people here are on native land. Mm-hmm. And we should all seek to understand this land, place, people. We are ancient and modern. Tens of thousands of documented human history still in the making. So why we start history lessons with the arrival of the first white guy is kind of a little strange to me. But hopefully we'll be able to fill in not just about history, but contemporary things too. There's a lot going on in Native communities and a lot of intersectionality with that and everyone else's experience.
What can people do if they wish to learn about another culture, but they fear sounding like insensitive?
Yeah, I think actually most people feel a little nervous about stepping into space where they're not familiar because they don't want to expose an ignorance, don't want to offend somebody, and sometimes we retreat from even asking questions. We're tippy-toeing around on eggshells, worried about those things. And that just stifles learning. And I think, honestly, education, inquiry, travel, these things are kind of fatal to prejudice, and it doesn't take an awful lot of bravery. So I usually, try to orchestrate safe space and open it up for questions, and there's never enough time to exhaust what people want to talk about.
Well, thank you so much for your time. This event is tonight at 7 in Westlake, room 116. For BUTV News, I'm Elise Holskoff.
Thank you, Elise. Have you ever wondered what happens when you press the red emergency button on one of the emergency poles around campus? With over 80 poles around the hilltop, most within viewing distance of another, there is widespread coverage for an instant connection to BUPD in the case of an emergency. A little known fact, you can actually dial any on-campus number using the poles, but they don't work for outgoing calls. So don't stop paying your cell phone bill yet.
So the blue light phones have been around for quite some time now. The way they work is there's a big red button on them, and if you press that button, it gives a direct line to dispatch, who then has a location of where you're at. That way we can get an officer to you quicker.
Officer Savage says the response time could be as quick as 90 seconds if you're in need of help.
Bradley is home to hundreds of organizations, but none quite like this. The Body Project is a group dedicated to spreading awareness about eating disorders and body image issues to college students. Reporter Taylor Musgrove got to sit down with leaders in the organization to learn more about its mission.
Many have probably seen this name around campus and asked, what exactly is the Body Project?
It's an organization with like faculty, staff, and students, student interns, and we spread awareness on eating disorders.
Alana, the event coordinator, and Aaron, the social media chair, says the Body Project is all about spreading positive body image across campus and hosting events centered around the awareness of eating disorders. In fact, the group recently showed the Netflix film To the Bone.
It is a movie about a girl who has anorexia and goes to a home for treatment, and it really shows her struggles through the whole eating disorder process.
Alana expresses that as a nation, we should be having more frequent conversations about body issues and eating disorders, especially when it pertains to college students.
I think like body image affects everyone, and I think in college especially there's a lot of pressure to like look a certain way or to I don't know, I guess just like balance everything.
And despite what most might think, body image issues are not unique to women. The Body Project speaker for next semester proves just that.
We have Need a Week, which is at the end of February, and we are actually doing a speaker. He was a former MLB catcher for the Mariners and the White Sox. His name is Mike Marjama. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. And he's actually a retired baseball player, and he goes around the country talking about his own eating disorders.
At the end of the day, this organization strives to help people live a healthy lifestyle and be comfortable in their own skin. The Body Project is currently looking for new interns. If you're interested, you can email them at bubodyproject@gmail.com. For BUTV News, I'm Taylor Musgrove.
It may be cold outside, but Las Delicias, a local Mexican ice cream shop, is serving up delicious frozen treats all the same. Here's Sam Kohlmeyer for this week's Around Town.
Las Delicias isn't new in the Peoria area. They've been operating here for a number of years now, but I think it's one of those hidden off-campus gems that's just too far where not a ton of people actually know it exists. But when you walk inside for the first time, you'll be blown away. It's something of a children's paradise. There are colors everywhere, but of course, the main attraction here is what they're serving up. Every single day, fresh, cold, delicious ice cream. Now, Las Delicias is a Mexican ice cream shop, so of course you have your standard ice cream, but you also have these incredible ice cream bars and some more liquidy ice creams as well. They all look incredible, and I decided to settle on something that I thought would be a pretty safe bet: normal Oreo and vanilla ice cream. I thought it would taste like your average ice cream, nothing too special, and that's where I was completely, totally, and entirely wrong. The ice cream here was delectable. I have to admit, I wasn't able to figure out what made the ice cream so special. It just was. Mary Mendez, the owner, tells us why she started Las Delicias in the first place.
I don't know, my husband, it's idea that my husband, because he say, I don't see any Mexican ice cream right here in Peoria. And I say, I can start to open one here in Peoria. It's great.
Also great here are the prices. I was able to get an entire cup of ice cream for just over $2. So if you want to go check it out, it's just off the hilltop down West Main Street. Very, very close to campus. Definitely walkable if you're really in the mood for some delicious ice cream. That's all for this week's episode of Around Town. For BUTV News, I'm Sam Kohlmeyer.
The International Humanitarian Law Lecture was held this Thursday before break, and students were able to learn more about human trafficking.
Sarah Mendelson is a Distinguished Service Professor of Public Policy and head of Carnegie Mellon University's Heinz College in Washington, D.C. She visited campus before break to give a lecture on human trafficking. Mendelson had 5 main points, but began with stating what human trafficking exactly is.
Trafficking, a modern form of slavery, constitutes a violation of human rights in which victims are deprived of their fundamental freedoms. And this forced fraud or coercion often has both violent and psychologically abusive aspects.
Though it's hard to believe, human trafficking still happens to this day. However, those who are trafficking innocent people are finally being brought to the light and being prosecuted.
We don't have exact numbers for the number of survivors. We know that just under 15,000 prosecutions led globally to just over 9,000 convictions.
One of her other points that she touched on was how we can help. Mendelsohn is hoping that our generation can be the one to say no more to human trafficking. By educating yourself and knowing what the signs of human trafficking are, knowing what chains use human trafficking, and donating, you too can help end it. For BUTV News, I'm Krista Broom.
Did you know that soil can have stress? Just like us, they need nutrients to grow properly. Find out what affects the soil and why it's important to test. So let's open up this can of worms in this week's Someone You Should Know.
Students in the biology department are currently involved in specific experiments to wrap up the semester. Vanessa Fran, an environmental science major, explains the basis of her group's study.
So we're measuring soil based on stress levels, so we're having 3 different levels of moisture, low, medium, and high, in 2 different temperature settings at 25 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius, basically to see which one provides more nutrients, to see which one has optimal growth for plant life. And then after 7 days of incubation under these temperatures and moisture levels, we took CO2 samples and we are injecting them with substrates such as more water and glucose to see how that affects the soil output of nutrients.
Although this may seem like an easy study to complete, there are tedious steps that need to be followed in order to maintain accurate results.
We took about 15 grams of our sample per sample and weighed it out in a tin machine, or in a tin can, and we are drying it out in this incubator for 7 days, and then we're going to weigh it after the 7 days to see how much moisture was in each sample to determine if they were able to respond well to stress levels and still respirate.
The goal of this experiment is to measure the soil's response to stress levels. With a few simple materials and a short 7 days, you will have some results. After the samples have incubated long enough, they are ready to be tested one more time. Vanessa breaks down the results for us.
So we found that high moisture, when measuring CO2s at the same concentration, high moisture at the 25 degrees actually does have more CO2 output, which means that that soil is respiring more than when it has less moisture, because it's in stressful conditions when it has less moisture. CO2 output that it possibly could have gone was 3,200, whereas the high had a possible maximum of 3,300 and 500.
If you're interested in getting involved with this atmosphere, check out the biology department in Olin to learn more about your environmental or scientific endeavors. For BUTV News, I'm Elise Holskoff.
Coming up after this break, Larry Larson will tell us if this cold weather is here to stay.
And Kelly Rogers will tell us about a remake of a classical musical and what stars are returning next.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
And Larry Larson is here with our weather report. Did you get back home safe on Sunday during the blizzard?
I did not, actually. We decided to wait until
no.
Monday. You know, the decision was made late Sunday night before we knew that classes were canceled.
Amani, did you make it back?
I did, but it was treacherous getting here.
Yes,
so.
it was treacherous getting here. So I'm glad you didn't take that chance.
Yes, the roads were very bad. Can't confirm. However, I cannot confirm the answer to your question heading into the break. Is this cold around to stay? However, let's take a look at the answer to that question right now. If we take a look at the radar today, we've been dealing with a mix of sun and clouds all day. As you can see, we've got some clouds lingering around, and actually we've got a few scattered snow showers in the area this evening. However, that's nothing to worry about like we had on Sunday night. This is not a blizzard. This is not going to accumulate much. Taking a look at the temperatures, it has been a chilly one. As you can see, we've got 27 in Peoria, 26 in Chicago, and 34 down there in St. Louis. We are still well below average for late November. However, we are going to warm up in the next few days, but Mother Nature still can't make up her mind on that one. If we take a look at our wind map, our wind has been contributing to these cold temperatures. We've been dealing with winds around 7 to 10 miles an hour. They've cooled down a little bit to 2 miles an hour this evening. However, that wind has been adding to the wind chill, making it feel much, much cooler. When the temperature's around 28 degrees, an 8-mile-an-hour wind makes it feel around 20 or 22 degrees. Now, if we take a look at the 5-day forecast, it is kind of a mess. We warm up back near 40 this weekend for Friday and tomorrow. And then Saturday, we could hit up near 60 with some thunderstorms in the forecast. That rain stays in the forecast for Sunday, only it cools down to 42. And then snow comes back into the forecast for Monday as we cool back down. That's it for our weather. Here's Kelly Rogers with entertainment.
Steven Hillenburg, creator of the mega hit Nickelodeon cartoon series SpongeBob SquarePants, died on Monday. He was 57. The cause of his death was ALS, which he was diagnosed with last March. Hillenburg created SpongeBob SquarePants, which began in 1999, where he personally oversaw the first 3 seasons. Stevie Wonder is raising money for California fire victims through a benefit concert. The R&B legend announced this along with another plan yesterday to help firefighters and first responders through his 22nd annual House Full of Toys benefit concert. The charity concert will be held in Los Angeles on December 9th. Rita Moreno is coming back to the big screen to join the cast of Steven Spielberg's adaptation of West Side Story. Moreno, who originally played Anita in the 1961 version, will be playing Valentina, which is based on the original corner store owner character Doc. The film does not yet have a release date.
Lonnie, you were shaking for excitement.
I love West Side Story. My family, yes, I'm so excited. I'm so pumped.
Oh my God. Okay. Next, we hit a campus to talk with students about Christmas time.
And soon we have your sports with Carly Chana. Stay with us.
Donation story is my brother died in a bus accident when I was 12 years old.
My mother slash aunt, she adopted me when I was 8, I'm gonna say.
And he had, unbeknownst to my family, signed up to be an organ donor when he was 21 or 22.
Around when I was 8, my mom had her first transplant. Now we're waiting on the second one.
And so when I was 12, I got to see my brother's organs get placed into the bodies of a lot of other people in need. And it was really cool to know that my brother actually saved the lives of other people.
Ever since she lost her first kidney, she hasn't been able to go places because she has to dialyze so frequently.
60% of adults 18 and up in Illinois are registered organ donors. Now 16 and 17-year-olds can make this life-saving decision on their own.
One organ and tissue donor can save at least 25 lives.
I think that it is really important for 16, 17, 18-year-olds to take advantage of organ donation because they are in the prime of their life. I mean, truth be told, young people like that have the healthiest organs and can help the most people.
Me and my mother, we attend the Ambassador's Gift of Hope meetings and events. We get to talk to the others with the same situations that we have. We can relate to them and their family members. It's a big help with what we're going through and what I'm going through.
Everybody should have a conversation about joining the organ donation registry today.
With the semester winding down, it's probably about time to start looking for new things to do on campus next semester. Here's one club you might want to keep in mind.
Every Friday, students gather in Olin Hall for the Bradley Anime Club. Less of a traditional club and more of a gathering spot. Members of Anime Club hang out for a few rounds of fighting games before catching up on the latest episodes of their favorite series. Though anime has become increasingly popular over the past 2 years, there is still often a stigma surrounding it. Here's incoming Anime Club president Daniel Pavlik with his take on the situation.
There's a plethora of shows and anime and whatnot, and some of them are not family appropriate. I feel like those are the ones that people latch onto and propagate and talk about and like, oh, this is weird.
Earlier this year, the film production company Legendary Pictures announced that they would be pursuing feature film adaptations of the popular anime series Gundam and My Hero Academia. I asked Daniel if he thinks that these films and others like them could change the perception of anime in the West.
I think with the onset of movies based on animes, some people are going to see them and just assume that they're original ideas or IPs and not know that it came from an anime or what have you. So I don't think that stigma will change that much.
Despite the lack of mainstream acceptance, Daniel believes that anime can have a universal appeal.
Talk to anyone. They've watched Dragon Ball. They've seen a few episodes of Naruto. Like, anime is good sometimes.
For BUTV News, I'm Thomas Pickering.
With the recent blizzard over the weekend, the best way to say goodbye is with a winter holiday-themed campus convos.
Hey, I'm Kayla Howell, and I'm in front of the Student Center. We asked some students about some holiday questions. Let's see what they said. All right, so what's your favorite snow activity?
I really like building snowman.
Snowball fights. Just because, I get to inflict pain on other people. That's pretty fun.
My family and I make snowmen a lot, so it's kind of just a family tradition.
I love sledding. That's probably the best one.
What's your favorite holiday movie and why?
I really like The Nightmare Before Christmas, even though it's kind of Halloween/Christmassy, but my family is huge into Jack Skellington and Sally.
Elf. I just like Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell's a good guy.
I like The Grinch just because it's a classic and they're always coming out with new versions of it, so my family and I like watching those too.
Most assuredly Die Hard because it's underrated as the greatest Christmas film of all time.
What's something that keeps you warm when you're cold?
I really like coffee, so I usually drink that. I kind of drink it every day, so it's fine anyway.
My slippers. I like these slippers. They're good slippers.
We have a fireplace at my house, so we make fires almost every night, and it's nice and cozy.
I would say a good blanket, nothing can beat that.
What are you gonna ask Santa for Christmas?
I just really want to pass all my finals, that's all. That's all I need.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Getting on those trends, get that hype train going, good games.
Probably just clothes, because I can always use more of those, yeah. Clothes for sure.
I mean, look, I don't know if he does this, but if he can wipe away my student loan debt, that'd be tight. That'd be a really good Santa.
Wow, those were some creative answers. I hope you have a good holiday. For BUTV News, I'm Kayla Hallowell.
Let's try this story again with the right video this time. The 4th annual Charlie Steiner Symposium took place on November 15th, where professionals came to Bradley to talk about their sport-related fields. Here's Nelson Gutierrez with the story.
The annual Steiner Symposium took place on November 15th, uniting some of the best sports minds across the world. The 5 seminars of the day focused on key issues in the world of sports. The 9 a.m. seminar, entitled Collegiate Athletic Directors, What Keeps Me Awake at Night, kicked off the day.
My job, my position as the Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics is the 220 so student athletes that we have at Bradley, and how can I do the very best job I can do to make sure they have a tremendous experience.
Rules of sport followed just after.
I think one of the biggest things that I noticed when I took over as media and communications manager for the Chicago Sky was it was a constant butting heads between could I get them to come to our practice and talk to our players when we were in season in the summer, or were they going to send their entire TV crew to go cover, Chicago Bears training camp?
Critical issues in the field of sports communication, featuring David Baker, was third.
But what I do know for sure is that the game is safer than it's ever been before, and there's great character development in this.
The State of the Game, moderated by Charlie Steiner himself, was the penultimate seminar of the day.
I think we're going to see young players learn in the minor leagues in high school and college how to hit against the shift. Because the guys that come up, Cody Bellinger, great hitter, rookie of the year in 2017, really had no knowledge until this season of how to do that, how to hit the ball where he wanted to.
And finally, after a day of thoughtful discussion about ethics, personal stories, and the nature of sports itself, a conversation with Chris Mad Dog Russo and Charlie Steiner closed out the symposium.
Is it easier when teams are going well or going poorly?
The Charlie Steiner Symposium brought both students and experts together to discuss the hard truths in the world of sports, as well as the human connection within it all. With a massive turnout to every seminar, the desire to learn more was shared amongst everyone at the symposium.
Thank you all for coming tonight. We will see you here next year.
Nelson Gutierrez, BUTV News.
Are you planning on driving somewhere with friends for break, but not sure where to sit where? Well, believe it or not, there are actually responsibilities designated to each seat in the car. Our very own Joey Simo is here to inform you about which seat has which duty.
Hello everybody, my name is Joey Simo, and this time of year, the holiday season, people love to take road trips. Whether it's going home to see the family or a vacation, whatever your reason, each seat in the car has a certain responsibility. So I will be showing you inside the Ford Focus which seat has which responsibility. Let's take a look. First off, the pilot. Now everyone knows that a good driver keeps his or her hands on the wheels at all times, maintains a proper miles per hour to get to your destination safely, and last but not least, maintains the temperature in your vehicle. Shotgun. Now, in the shotgun passenger seat, your duties are to be the DJ and the navigation of the vehicle. If your car does not have a GPS, like the Ford Focus does, then you are on your phone using Waze, Google Maps, whatever you have, to make sure you're on the right route. You stop for bathroom breaks, you find restaurants to eat at on the way, gas stations, etc. When you are the DJ, you are on your phone using the aux cord, Bluetooth, and you select the playlist for the road trip. You also take requests from the pilot and the backseat people. If you're not a shotgun rider or a pilot, then you are the backseat people. Now, in the backseat, your duties are to take frequent naps, distribute the snacks around the vehicle, and to initiate in gameplay. The games that I like to play the best are I Spy, 20 Questions, and Alphabet Game. But I never won the alphabet game. Thanks, Mom. If you are located in the trunk of the vehicle, then your duties include screaming for help because you have likely been kidnapped. But if you are in the Ford Focus, then you can pull yourself out and run because the Ford Focus has a lovely self-release trunk handle. But if you're sitting here free-willingly, then there might be something wrong with you. No one likes a trunk rider. If you follow all of these duties, you will have a very enjoyable road trip with you and your friends. Happy holidays, everyone. For BUTV News, I'm Joey Simo.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Where do you sit in the car?
Usually on the right-hand side of the back seat.
I'm usually shotgun because I like to do directions. Well, after the break, Carly Channel will have your latest in sports.
And later we'll break down important dates as the semester comes to a close.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Hi, Carly. So I heard that while we were freezing in Illinois, the basketball team got to go to Mexico?
They did. They spent last week over Thanksgiving in Cancun. How cool is that? I know.
Amazing.
I wish I was there.
Amazing.
I know. So cool. But actually, the basketball teams both have done really, really well. So let us check it out. All right, so after traveling to Cancun, Mexico for Thanksgiving, the Bradley men's basketball came back to Peoria and played 5 games in the past week and a half and are playing again tonight, actually. The Braves easily defeated Chicago State 86-70, winning their 3rd game in a row. They had an early 21-1 run and maintained the momentum for the rest of the game. 4 Braves scored in double digits, which helped secure the win against the Cougars. Darrell Brown led the team with 16 points, but was helped by Elijah Childs, Luke Van Bree, and Nate Kennel, who put up double figures as well. Bradley shot over 50% and held Chicago State to 39.6%. After the win, Elijah Childs was named Country Financial Scholar Athlete of the Week after leading the Bradley Braves to a 3-game winning streak. The Braves are now 6-1 on the season. They are currently playing IUPUI at Indiana. The women's basketball team traveled to Boca Raton, Florida this past weekend to play in the Florida Atlantic Thanksgiving Tournament. They won both of their Thanksgiving games versus Delaware and Florida Atlantic. They beat Delaware 59-47 and easily took on FAU 80-59. This is the first 4-0 start the team has had in nearly 20 years. This is also the first in-season tournament that Lady Braves have won since the 2008-2009 season. Their next game is Saturday, December 1st at Renaissance Coliseum versus Oakland. Bradley men's cross country made its first appearance on the national stage, being the 25th ranked team in the latest polls. They finished 1 spot higher, earning 24th place at the NCAA Cross Country Championship on November 17th. In their final race as Bradley Braves, seniors Michael Ward and Haran Dunderdale led the team. Ward placed 106th overall with a 10K time of 30 minutes and 40 seconds, and Dunderdale was close behind with 30 minutes and 47 seconds, earning 115th overall. Northern Arizona claimed its 3rd straight NCAA championship title with 83 points.
Wow, going into winter break, there's going to be a lot of basketball games to watch.
I know, yeah, a lot, a ton, but they're doing really, really well.
Yeah.
So it's been fun to watch.
All I want for Christmas is a winning record.
I know, I think they got it this year, though.
Up next, we'll look at some upcoming important dates when the semester closes.
And a special musical guest you won't want to miss.
Hey, did you hear what the egg said after a night out of drinking?
What?
Lit. Did you bring the smokes?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. Sorry, I didn't have any time to get them today. I'll pay you back.
No problem. I don't understand how you can smoke those anywhere.
It gives me an edge. Like, I just feel more relaxed when I have them.
I can do that without smoking anything, though.
Look, you gotta try one before you judge me.
You know what? Never mind.
Join the cause to help end the use of cigarettes. For more information, visit thetruth.com.
How observant are you? Do you see me walking down the halls? How about the sidewalk? Why do you insist that I'm not there? How observant are you? Do you notice that I don't belong? Do you notice that nobody cares? Do you notice that my life is worthless?
Not at all. But I notice you.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at some important dates as the semester comes to a close. Wednesday, December 5th is study day. As your classes come to an end, plan your departure from Bradley accordingly. 10 a.m. on Thursday, December 13th, the dorms will close. Keep an eye out for your RAs for further instructions for how to check out. As of Monday, the library will be open 24 hours. These hours run through December 11th. From December 23rd till January 1st, the library will be closed. But one thing staying the same is the Safety Cruiser's hours. It operates daily between 7 p.m. and 3 a.m. when school is in session during the fall and spring semesters. A Bradley ID is required to utilize the service. To request a ride, call 309-677-2800 or just flag down the vans.
Well, that's it for us here at BUTV News. I'm Imani Shamsuddin.
I'm Larry Larson.
I'm Carly Chana.
I'm Kelly Rogers.
And I'm Anthony Landau. And that's the last show of the semester for us here at BUTV. I know I can speak for everyone when I say we are glad that you spent your Wednesday nights with us for the past few months. A big thank you, of course, to everyone in the control room and to our reporters. Teamwork makes the news work.
Yeah.
We leave you with a performance from Emma Hoyt. Have a great winter break.
Be that way, fall apart twice a day. I just wish you could feel